Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Phil from Vision Landscapes, and today I want to talk to you about how you can make your business recession proof. Phil, are we in a recession? Well, let me tell you what, we're going through it right now, so I think I'm in a good position to talk about it. First things first, I'm going to give you a little overview of our landscape business turned tree care business. So the year was 2009 and my landscape business opened up, right? I had been cutting grass for neighbors beforehand, but now it's time to get legit. And started off with 50 homes, grew that to about 100 homes, 120 homes, doing maintenance every single week, and had regular clients for hedge trimming and little side jobs. And that was fun. That was the first few days in business. I always tell people, enjoy it. You are having the best time of your life. You have no stress. You have no crazy overhead. Those are the heydays. Enjoy it. When you're small like that, you want to see your business scale, and time will come for that. But recession proof, let's keep on remembering that. It's something that we are going through now. And as you see, as I tell you how our business grew, you will understand a few different things. So throughout our first few years, we were specializing, grass cutting, everything that was alive in the landscape, some plantation jobs, a lot of sod. And those are all basis skills that we learned as a company. And we're a small business, me and a few students in the first few years. Did that, for 7 years. And then we just found out that, this hedge trimming thing is pretty good money. So let's become specialists in hedge trimming. And I sold my grass root. I sold everything. And I became super hyper focused on only hedge trimming, which was great for, many different reasons. I found it was like more money. I could practice a form of art, which I found was better than, grass cutting. We don't have great grass out here where we live for stripes, unlike the USA. So we had to, hedge trimming was just something different that I really enjoyed doing. Furthermore, we would also do a few little side jobs on the side, like just to keep our customers happy. But the biggest part of what we were doing was hedge trimming, to the point where I was hedge trimming 40 hours a week and was getting really exhausted from it. I have a broken collarbone from a snowboarding accident when I was young, and I was re-aggravating it. So only doing repetitive movements the whole time, all the time, every single week was really wearing down on my body, to the point where I was, my goodness, I can't keep on doing this. I got to diversify. Started doing little tree jobs, and that's whenever I met an arborist, and he joined our company. And the company has now transformed into, a tree care business. And now we offer more than just hedge trimming. We can cut trees, we prune trees, cable trees, do all sorts of various things. So my business was, at the first part was, limited to landscaping. Then we got specialized in hedge trimming, and now we do tree work. But our company's called Vision Landscapes. I'm an arborist, and I consider that everything that we do and have done kind of blends in together now, because I think that we are going through a micro recession where we live. Let me explain why. So, first things first, we had a crazy ice storm 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and we had an emerald ash borer disease fly through here, kill a whole bunch of trees, and a lot of those trees are taken out. A lot of companies opened their doors during that time, and sadly, those companies are missing work now because they can only cut down trees, and there's not many trees left to cut down. Storm damaged trees have been dealt with. All the ash trees are gone. We saw this coming, and we never bought grapple trucks and crazy equipment just to focus on tree removals, because we knew that was a finite part of our business, and we knew that we were riding a wave during these it was during COVID as well. And in that time, everyone was home, everyone was spending their money, and we rode a wave from 2020 to right where we are right now. For 4 or 5 years, we rode a crazy wave of growth. And I knew that we would hit a wall in the economy, lack of tree removals, and especially where we are. We're in a city, and we don't want to diversify ourselves to the point of geographically, let's go off island, let's go super far away and look for work. That's not how we wanted to do things. So how did we become recession proof? First of all, we re-expanded our services. So this is one thing that you can do, guys, in view, and it's good to not be super limited in your services. If you're only cutting trees and that's the only thing you do, well, the second that there's no more tree removals, or there's a lack of tree removals, you'll be twiddling your thumbs, or you'll be wishing that you could have a different, service. So, I'm seeing tree removal guys down the street trim hedges, which is super comical. I never thought that I'd see this, but they're understanding it too, and so can you. diversify your services. If you're grass cutting, do different stuff as well. So as an arborist, we started doing a lot of PHC. So plant health care is an element of tree care where you're taking care of the roots of the trees. You're doing bracing and cabling, tree management, injections, and we started doing this 3 years ago now. And are we ever so glad? We can go out and add on some nice coin to our days by doing this tree care, and oftentimes we can go and do this specific care on a property and we'll make more money than if we were cutting down trees. So it's great for business. It's great overall for the urban trees. There's only so many trees in the urban area. We got to protect them and preserve them, and that's what we're really good at. So diversify your services, become super specialized, and become the pros, and that's what we've done. We've not become the pros of cutting down trees. We're good at it, but we're not just trying to get every single tree removal job, or else we wouldn't have enough time to do this other kind of stuff that is longer lasting. A lot of our clients, they want us back every single year for plant health care. If you're cutting down a tree, it's one and done, you're probably not going to be there again. We're dealing with a lot of competition where we are. A lot. And everyone always says there's always tons of competition in my area, but this year it just feels like more than ever everybody wants to open up a tree care business. But you know what? I really think a lot of those companies will be shutting their doors pretty quickly here because we are going through a little recession. People are holding onto their dollar a lot tighter, and they're very cautious of how they spend it. So for us this year as a company, it is a little tighter. We are not getting as much work as we have in years past. We're still going out every single day, thank God, and we're getting stuff done. And I'll tell you what, I'm thankful for that. And I'm thankful that, we're keeping busy even if we're not always pruning trees. Sometimes we're going to an existing client and we're ripping up their entire front garden and we're replanting new bushes and shrubs. Yeah, it's a form of landscape, but then, we'll be pruning their tree in the fall. We want to keep them happy, and they have work for us that we could do. We have the knowledge, I have the background, I've done it all before. It makes sense. We can do it. Even this one client, they had a patch of sod they wanted redone, and who can we trust? Can we call the tree guys? And yeah, if it's a little slower, absolutely we'll do it. Regarding advertising, I'm not just going to shut down and say, oh, okay, let's just keep on going like this. Our advertising is pushing towards tree care because that's obviously what we want to do more of. But whenever we have existing clients calling us for odd jobs, that makes sense. That's within our realm of expertise. Absolutely, we are going to do it. We've done a lot of planting jobs already this year, from trees to smaller gardens to hedges, and it's a lot of fun. It's a good workout on the body. You're not always doing the same repetitive movement. You're digging, either you're with an excavator, and it's just a good mix match of work, great team building as well, and it just teaches you skills. So you could have a backup plan. If you're working, you hear this so many times with people, I got a plan B. I have an office job, but I do carpentry on the side. You got to have a side if you work in the green industry, it's good to have a side job. And your side job might just be a different element of your business. So if you're doing grass, maybe you'll start doing fertilizing. Maybe you'll start doing, pest control. Or, I know a buddy, he has a garbage waste collection run as well. And he does that a few days a week. It's just good to have a plan B in case your plan A slows down a little bit. Because let's face it, we have bills to pay. Got to keep the lights on. I have 6 employees. You got to keep those payrolls and those paychecks coming in, and you don't want to be skipping on any of those. Make sure you pay your guys before yourself. That's pretty important. And at the same time, you can't just let your company go to waste. Can't let your company go to trash. You got to make sure that you can have that revenue coming in. So to do that, diversify yourself, guys. Add a different element to your business that you think could help you in the long run to keep those profits coming in and keep your customers happy. That's the overall thing. The customers might not have tree work for you that year, but if they say, hey, yeah, they're willing to help me out with other things, that'll keep them pretty happy. They're not going to go looking anywhere else. So that's why we like doing hedge work still now today with tree work. I don't want my tree care client to go and call somebody else for hedges, and I don't want my hedge client calling someone else for trees. So it just makes sense to do both of them together. And sometimes, hedge trimming can be more profitable than tree work. All that said, guys, together, we are going through a little micro recession. I would encourage you to scout out and look at your current situation. Look at the economy in your area and run a simulation. Tell yourself, what happens if we run out of work? What happens if the phone starts ringing? What can we do to keep that revenue coming in every single month? It's seasonal where we are. We only work, 8 months per year, and we got to make sure that we make X amount of money per year to, pay off equipment payments, pay off rent, pay off everything, and survive as a business. So we're in full Plan B mode activation right now. I hate to say it, but we probably need a good storm coming through one of these days to wake up everything once again. That's not necessarily good then, because tons of people come in from out of town to where we live and try to swoop up the work because the dollar is better where we live. We live in like a bit of a nicer neighborhood, but you know what? It's gonna happen. Can't pray for storms, but whenever they do happen, we're gonna be ready to go. And we have tons of existing clients that we're gonna be their first calls. Another thing that's good in the recession is to send out emails. Send out emails to your clients. Check in with them, and we did a batch send out to 700 emails in the spring. And we got dozens of people fill out quote requests and request us to come and check out their properties. It's good follow up, and can land you a few jobs that can get the ball rolling once again. So it depends on the size of your operation, but always I would encourage you guys, have a plan for a second source of income that is intertwined and that you start doing. PHG, Plant Healthcare, some companies only do that. That's all they do because it's becoming such a big part of the business. And that's one of our goals one day, is to be super specialized and not have to go out and labor and sweat and cut down massive trees every single day. And there's room for that, and you still have to keep up those skills. We're doing that tomorrow, in fact. We're cutting down 2 massive trees, and that's fine. But doing that 5 days a week puts a toll on your body. And, I'm 37, approaching my 40s, and whenever you're at my age, still probably young compared to a few people here, and I do apologize. I don't want to sound arrogant or anything, but you have to start thinking about your physical future and, time with your family and your mental future as well. You don't want to be just overwhelmed all the time with doing X amount of crazy stuff and super stressed on, huge payments on equipment that maybe you can't keep running. So make sure that you're buying stuff that is not going to get you stressed out. We have no room to sell any equipment that we have. All our equipment is like half paid off. I know it's going to be a couple more touchy years. Hopefully things turn around and the economy picks up a little bit more again where we live. But, we had a chip truck and a chipper get fully paid off this year, which is amazing. And then, every single year after this, we have a key piece of equipment coming to term and fully paid off. So we're very excited about that. That definitely helps in like the financial relief, not having to make that many payments every single month. But yeah, plan equipment for now. But don't get overwhelmed and buy 3 chippers and just make yourself a tree care cutting company. Buy 2 chippers and maybe buy an air spade kit and start doing PHC. Diversify yourselves a little bit so if there's less removals, you can do more care work. So be careful where you spend your dollars to not have it all tied up in the same kind of equipment. It's like a grass cutting. If you're buying big 0 turns, I know you can sell them, but if you buy like 3 or 4 of them because you think you're going to have a really good year and you want to keep up, and then next year you lose those contracts, you're stuck with that gear. Might be better to start off with less to start and work your way up as you go. So guys, there's some little tidbits on how to make your business recession proof. I hope it's helped. And once again, Phil from Vision Landscapes, member of Echo Means Business. This is my 3rd year hanging out with this amazing group of people as we talk business tricks on how to succeed in the green industry and have a great old safe time. Peace out.